Please have your seats. Thank you. Thank you. Please have your seats. Hello? So, can we have one conversation, please? So, to the leadership of the ANC Global, represented by Chairman Elias Monga, the leadership of ANC Global Midwest, I want to acknowledge you, chaired by Melvin Logan and his leadership team. The team here in Minnesota, chaired by Alex Ganda. To the honorees tonight, to all the women honorees tonight, we want to acknowledge you. And to everybody present tonight, thank you for coming to honor these outstanding women for their contributions to the community. And on behalf of myself and the party in Liberia, I want to thank ANC Global for this event. I also want to acknowledge my big brother, Alaric Tupa here. We're not letting go unnoticed. Alaric, thanks for your presence here. You and your lovely wife. I actually had a speech written to give tonight, but since there's no podium and the night is well spent, I will just make a few short remarks. First thing I want to talk about is the fact that, can the head table also have one conversation or two here, please? First thing I want to talk about tonight is change. The need for change in Liberia. The need for change in our country, and I mean real change. If we're going to change our country, if we want to move Liberia forward, we have to do many things differently. My favorite saying, I think you've heard me say over and over, we cannot keep doing the same things and expect different results. And sometimes it's the definition of insanity. It's not me saying so, it's Albert Einstein. If we want to change our country, we gotta do things different. That means you as individuals gotta do things different in your lives. And that means as a country, we gotta do many things differently if we want to change Liberia. Change is hard. It's easier said than done. And people who benefit from the system as is today are going to resist that change. They are going to push back. They're going to fight it. They will find all kinds of reasons why it can't work in Liberia. But it'll work in Ghana. It'll work in Nigeria. It'll work in South Africa. It'll work in the United States. But they will say it can't work in Liberia. I'm here to tell you it can work in Liberia. We just have to be determined to make the change. We gotta realize that there will be resistance, and it doesn't mean we'll change everything at the same time. That's a recipe for chaos. But the fact is, after 174 years, Liberia is among the poorest country in the bottom 10 in the world. That is not an Alexander Cummings fact. That is a fact. That means we're not doing things right. So we gotta be prepared for the change. And you and I and all Liberians gotta be determined to do things differently to move our country forward. The next topic to talk about today is the need to make sure that the other half of the population is embraced and is part of this change process and is at the table, and that's our women. Women represent over 50% of the population. We have to make sure they are part of the change process. Like it or not, we are a patriarchal society. There are barriers, some known and some unknown barriers. But there's evidence, empirical evidence around the world, that when there are women participation in leadership, in decision making, organizations and countries do better. These are facts. And this is why I believe we need to legislate, we need to insist, we need to be affirmative in agreeing that women have to be in the legislature, have to be in the cabinet, have to be in all parts of the country and society. Because their presence makes for better decision making, makes for better execution. Women are more responsible than men. Particularly true in our country. If you gave a woman $10 in Liberia, they would spend it on their children, they would buy the food. You give it to us, we would spend it on their girlfriend. These are facts. So we need we need to make sure that our women are empowered, they are supported, they are protected, and they have equal voice. The whole area of sexual and gender-based violence, I want to say to the Liberian men tonight, we should be embarrassed at those statistics. As many in Liberia. We should be embarrassed. We should be ashamed. Because it's unacceptable, and we need to have those conversations. We need to make sure people who commit those crimes are punished. You know, in Liberia, you can get away with almost everything. That the level of impunity is staggering, is unbelievable. And that's part of the change. You know, when people commit crimes, we gotta punish them. And you don't come beg for your relative when they commit crime, because that's what we do. We come and beg, oh, the person got family. No. The person should have known when they were committing a crime. And we're going to punish them. There gotta be consequences for people who misbehave in our country. So these are just some examples of the things that need to change. I want to say the diaspora. When the diaspora, when they're in the UK, the United States, whatever, they don't follow the laws. They don't obey the rules. When they get a rubber fee, they don't forget it. We will not allow that to happen. That cannot happen. That cannot happen. These are all things we have to do to change our country. But it starts with leadership. It starts with leadership. Another saying I like a lot is the best way to predict future behavior, future performance is past behavior, past performance. That's true. If somebody has been a good performer in the past, very high likelihood they will be a good performer in the future. If somebody has been a rogue or thief in the past, very good chance to be a rogue or thief in the future. So as we elect and select our leaders, don't just listen to what they say. Listen to what they have done. If you think about our president today, he was a great football player. He is still the only African to have won the Ballon d'Or, the most prestigious prize in football. He was a great football player. Then we cannot take anything away from President Biya. He made all of us proud. But he never ran anything. No, I'm serious. Until we give it the presidency. So we should not be surprised at where the country is today. Best predictor of future behavior, future performance is past behavior, past performance. And that's how we gotta select our leaders. And if we keep electing people with the same kinds of experiences that got us to where we are today, that will not change. Last thing I would say to you is that this change we talk about requires all of us. Yes, it starts with leadership, but it requires every Liberian to participate in the change we want. Liberia will not change because we talk it. Liberia will not change because we wish it to change. Liberia will change because we are prepared to do the work and make the sacrifice and change ourselves. This change has to be collective. One of you said, and I agree with her, that one of the ways you influence change, because in our platform we talk about winning hearts and minds, to get Liberians to own this country, to do the right things. The kinds of things you use, she's right: arts, culture, music, religion, sports. These are all things, if you're intentional, they influence how people think about themselves, how they behave, and we're gonna use those instruments, but it requires all of us. If you're just waiting for Alexander Cummings to wave a magic wand, Liberia change, I can tell you for free what happened. It will only happen if we all collectively put our shoulder to the wheel to change our country. But I know we can do it. I know we are as bright and as smart as anybody else in the world. I've had the blessing of living and working in Nigeria, in Kenya, in South Africa, the United States, the United Kingdom, and those people are no smarter than you and I.
That's it. That's it.
But with the right leadership, with the right structures, the right processes, the right systems, we can change behavior. We can change our country. And we have to. That's something we must do. We don't have a choice. We're in the 21st century, and Liberia is still in the 19th century. We have to be in a hurry to change our country. We gotta use technology. We gotta all do the work to change Liberia, but it can be done. I'm not suggesting it will happen overnight, but it can happen, it will happen, it must happen. So again, I thank you for the opportunity to be with you tonight. It's important that even in your individual lives as you leave here today, think about what is that one thing you're going to do different to improve your life, to help the Liberian community here, and to help Liberia at home. We can change our country. We must change our country. We don't have a choice. Thank you. God bless you. God bless you.